cancelled. I pretty much got cancelled before cancelling was a thing.
You were called drug pig, bulimic, ice addict and whore. I mean, what the actual... That's horrible.
And I hadn't discovered therapy yet. She goes, you are a disgrace to the nutrition industry. And I go, what? And she's like, by the way that you dress. She goes, how could anyone take you seriously? When the chips are down, nobody wants to be near you. That was the age where we kind of linked like how pretty we were to how skinny we were.
For sure. It was all about, jutting hip bones and the thigh gap.
And I just remember thinking in that moment, I was like, I'm not going to let somebody else's bad day F up my life. Their limitations, not yours. Don't take them.
She's the Aussie nutritionist turned actress, author and podcast queen, known for her honesty, humour and a cult following built on good vibes and even better smoothies. From best-selling books to Byron Bay retreats, Lola Berry has become a go-to voice in wellness. And on her hit podcast Fearlessly Failing, she's not afraid to ask the big, brave questions. Sigourney caught up with her at her LA apartment, where they toured her rooftop with views of the Hollywood sign, before diving into a chat about heartbreak, healing, and turning life's twists into power. This is Lola Berry, grounded, glowing, and totally beautiful inside.
Welcome to Beautiful Inside. I'm Sigourney Cantelo. For over 20 years as a magazine beauty and health director and founder of Beauticate, I've shared stories about how to be beautiful on the outside. But recently, I've also been on my own journey to uncover what it means to be beautiful within. Inspired by my own experiences with mental health and healing, I'm meeting people who have remarkable stories to share. How have they come back from the brink of adversity and reclaimed their power? How do they continue to nurture their inner selves while creating space for joy, beauty and well-being? Now before we dive in, I have a small favour to ask you. You have no idea what a difference it makes. Yep, you guessed it. Please hit subscribe or follow. This small gesture means that we'll have greater reach, better scope for guests, and more resources to make this show the very best that it can be. And feel free to comment on YouTube and tell me what you want to see more of. And together we can keep these important conversations going and continue to explore the link between inner and outer beauty. Now this season 5 of Beautiful Inside is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools. Now pools have become much more than just a place to cool off. They're now wellness spaces in their own right. A moment in nature, magnesium mineral water for your skin, even a cold plunge in winter. We chose Blue Haven for our recent pool build because they've had over 50 years of experience building beautiful pools. We went with a custom concrete pool because they can be as creative as your Pinterest board. And if you're on a standard block, they've made it unbelievably easy. You can now literally buy a designer concrete pool online. Still owned by the founding family, CEO Ramonda brings both heart and intuitive design to every build. And a big thank you to Blue Haven for sponsoring this season. I'll also put some details in the show notes.
Lola. We're here.
We made it happen, mate.
Oh, what a morning.
I would say you could do a whole show of the behind the scenes of this, the setup. Amazing.
But here we are in this beautiful space in your home in LA, and so thank you for having me. On a Sunday morning, no less.
Thanks.
You're such a hard worker. She's already done one pod this morning, and you've got another one after me.
Today is a 4-day pod day.
Sunday's a day of rest, don't you know?
I know, but you know this.
I know.
You've got your passion. Yes. I love podcast. I could podcast all the hours come home.
You are. I love your podcast. You're so wonderful, and I love hearing all your little LA diaries and hotspots, and it's really cool. Like you're very, plugged in and.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I just share what's going on. I don't really think. I don't know. I don't think too much. I don't think I censor myself too much. So.
No, but that's probably what people love. Like it's nice just to hear people just chatting. Beautiful Inside, as you know, we go back to the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. Tell me about your childhood.
I was pretty darn lucky. I got a little brother, Tristan, and he was also always a sport kid, and I was always the drama nerd.
Yeah, go figure.
It makes sense now.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up Melbourne kid, Middle Park. My parents separated before I went to prep. And I know you hear stories and you think, oh, that may be a source of trauma. But my brother and I had two awesome parents. But we would get 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, 2 Easters. We loved it. And our parents to this day are still really good mates. So I think we're both pretty darn lucky. But yeah, drama nerd the whole way through. Drama junior, house captain, all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that I've kind of done full circle, come back to acting now.
Yeah, at teenage years, what was adolescence like?
Yeah.
Being a drama queen, I know.
Yeah.
As a drama queen and an adolescent, the two go kind of hand in hand.
Yeah. I was at like a Catholic girls' school and mad for boys. And in all the plays, like in Romeo and Juliet and all that kind of thing. So like theatre nerd, that our nickname for the theatre kids was a melt, because you would melt under the theatre lights because they were so hot. So yeah, I was called a melt at school, but like love teenage years, like 20s was a bit trickier around kind of like, I guess that kind of like eating disordery stuff, definitely in my 20s.
So did you get diagnosed at the time with an eating disorder, or is it more just in retrospect that you're like, I had disordered eating?
No, my mum's a nurse, and she was like, my mum was like, okay, I think I was like 47 kilos at one stage. So I'm pretty sure I'm like 60 now, and I feel healthy and great. I do my yogas and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I was totally underweight, and I was I remember I went through a really rough breakup, and then linked my worth to being skinny, which I was from a millennial. I feel like that was the age where we kind of linked like how pretty we were to how skinny we were.
Yeah.
Can you relate to that?
Oh yeah, I can, for sure. It was all about, jutting hip bones and the thigh gap and, Kate Moss and heroin shooting. Like, so it was that kind of era, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I was saying to you right before we recorded, like, I am mad for therapy. Love it. 9 years deep. So, like,
9 years.
Now, I used to have such anxiety if I had a meal out. Like, it's Thanksgiving's in a few days. Like, usually that would be a source of crazy anxiety and binge eating and restriction and all that kind of thing. Whereas now I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for the turkey.
Yeah, great.
But that's years and years of therapy.
Did you go into nutrition because of the obsession with food?
Maybe like subconsciously. I do think like I always was a bit of a like health nerd as well, which I guess there's an argument to be said for orthorexia potentially, which is where you have that obsession.
Jess told me that she was exactly the same.
Yeah.
You kind of control it, and then you become obsessed with it, and
it's kind of like healthy, so it's easy to justify and da. But no, I actually think I genuinely am a foodie. So I think I genuinely did love that foodie element. I do remember so clearly, I worked in morning TV in Melbourne, and I remember doing a segment.
Hair and makeup, or before, like after. Sorry, I'm just back.
As a nutritionist.
If you were hair and makeup before, DJ.
Yes.
So let's just chart your career quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I almost forgot that I did that.
I did my research. So came out of school, went to Monash and did a Bachelor of Performing Arts, so thought I'd be Kate Blanchett, which I know we have that in common. And then I remember being in a drama class at uni, and they're like, 95% of you are all going to be drama teachers. And I was like, oh, I just don't see myself doing, like, it's not for me. Pulled out of uni, did my makeup training, and became a DJ and makeup artist. Would I have known you in that iteration? Were you still in Melbourne?
Still in Melbourne.
Okay.
I trained at Napoleon.
Oh my God. I did a Napoleon course, but I was a beauty editor doing it like in disguise. But yeah.
Oh, that's fun. And then I was doing a lot of catwalk. Catwalk was mainly what I was doing for makeup. That was the world because Melbourne was like, Melbourne was kind of like, all that stuff. Like Zoya, Stevie, all those old...
in the scene as a DJ and a makeup artist.
Little party,
That's cooler than that, and the partying, I know, right?
More like when I said party rap, like I worked at Stevie, and I remember, which was a little boutique on Greville Street, Paran, and we had acid wash jeans. Yes.
Stevie was so cool.
And I'd get in, I used to love it. No, I loved it. It was my first like big job. When I say big job, my first job I was passionate about I was like 18. And I remember I'd open the doors and set the shop up each day and put glitter on the floor. Yeah! And he'd get me, like, Lyndon, the creator, amazing. He'd get me doing makeup for their fashion shows and their big shoots and stuff. And that's kind of like how I... Yeah. And he was we DJ'd together as well. We called ourselves...
Coolest of cool.
We called ourselves Two Dumb Blondes. We were both had white blonde hair. We DJ at Prince of Wales, and this is all very Melbourne stuff. But I would have been 18.
Now, when did you rename yourself Lola?
Oh my goodness, this is
because you were Lauren, right?
Yeah. But my first serious boyfriend, we met when I was 18, and he said, "Listen, my sister's name is Lauren," and I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "It is too weird to be dating someone called Lauren, same as my sister.
So cool.
And he goes, can I just call you Lola? And I was like, cool, no probs. It literally stuck.
It's a cool name.
It's fun. And then I had this friend at Stevie, the fashion label, because I was starting to train as a nutritionist at the same time as working in fashion. And he used to say when I come in, how's my little Lola Berry? My friend Tom, he just called
So
me
he
that.
came up with the berry part.
Yeah, and it stuck.
Oh my goodness.
So Lola Berry is not real. It's
a
just a
great
fun name.
Stage, like, you know, like if it was a stage name, like it's super cool. Like, just, I love that you just adopted it. And did your family still call you Lauren or Lola?
My family call me Lola. When my dad is annoyed at me, he'll be like, Lauren. And no, mum's fully adopted me.
Okay.
Because I was so young. I was like 17, 18. Yeah.
Now, I read somewhere that you trained to become a nutritionist because you wanted to look good for the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was that the 18-year-old boyfriend? Or was it another boyfriend?
Which boyfriend was that? I'm trying to think. Oh, yes, it was. Yes.
I love how honest it is.
Yeah.
But also because you're a foodie and also because you loved, like, nutrition.
Yeah,
But
nutrition is powerful. You know this. It's like,
absolutely.
it is empowering when you look after yourself in a really healthy way. And I remember that guy. So yeah, my first serious boyfriend was my DJ teacher. Oh my God, we're talking so about the DJ. Yeah, and I remember he was like a surfer as well, and I was like, shit, there's something there. No, but met at Stevie. He actually, we dressed people for TV at Stevie, and he came in to be dressed to go on tally, to go on Rove. Do you remember Rove?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. Oh my God, I'm aging myself. Oh my God. Anyway.
It was just yesterday, and what?
It's very Melbourne. It feels very quintessentially Melbourne.
Talking to in 2001, 2002.
Probably,
Okay.
So it'd be probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And I wanted to look great for him. That's a good memory, yeah.
And then what happened next?
Then so basically we found I was moved to Queensland, and I was like, I want to be like the Steve Irwin of fruits and veggies. And I saved up. I got 3 jobs. I saved up and just bought this little handicap.
What is the Steve Irwin of fruits and veggies? Just in terms of like, just passion, energy.
You know, what you see is what you get. I'm not polished, as you know. Even I was watching you interview beautiful Jess the other day, and I feel like she's so beautiful and polished, whereas I'm like, just g'day. I don't know, I feel like the opposite.
So wonderful and warm, and and I bet the Americans love it.
I don't know, I don't know.
Aussie,
Very Aussie, I would say. And so that's I think what I've always loved about Steve Irwin is that kind of like just unapologetic passion, like not needing to be anything, you know, and I love
This
not
is
being
me.
polished.
Yep.
Yeah, and yet very smart and quite genius. Like he's like this Alberius, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And so I loved the thought of like being that passionate about helping people with health and wellness, and now it's more so with the pod and stuff, like helping people like feel good.
Yep.
Which I know you're all about, empowerment, feeling good as well. And so like that's why I think like I've just really never felt like I'm not trained as a TV host. I'm not I like just being. And that's that Steve Irwin-esque
Got it.
that I've loved.
Right. So you
You know what I mean? Like camcorder back in the day. And then I would just set it up in the morning. I'd be like, these oats are like an intestinal broom, and filmed it. And then cold a TV show in Melbourne called 9 a.m. with David and Kim, which replaced the Bert Newton show. Good Morning Australia.
Yep.
And that's how I started morning TV. I was 23. I was about to graduate as a nutritionist. I was 22.
That is chutzpah, like to go and do that.
That's how I started. And they were like, hey, can you move to Melbourne? We want to sign you to the show. And then I started doing weekly TV series. And that's how I
So
started.
they saw your raw talent and your energy and your passion.
There was a flip side to that, though, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I know you like sharing like
Yeah, I
real.
know. 100%.
I used to go on telly and I'd wear my bright red Converse or yellow Converse, and I'd have a big Cyndi Lauper bow in my hair, and I'd wear like bright like gold skirt and like all different, like I was just, I don't know.
You were quirky.
Quirky is probably an understatement. But
Wacky.
I just loved like feeling different. I don't know why. And I remember to pay rent in Melbourne, because I had moved back to Melbourne to do this TV show. I worked at a smoothie bar, and I remember this nutritionist came into the smoothie bar, and I had gone to her macrobiotic cooking class and it was like a big deal. Like there was like hundreds of people in the audience, a couple hundred. And she came in and I was kind of starstruck. I'd started working in morning TV at this stage, but had to pay rent. I was working in a smoothie bar. They had a clinic room out the back. I was taking consults, nutrition consults out the back. Anyway, and I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. Didn't say anything to her and I was just like serving her and helping her. And she goes, I know you. And I said, yeah, I came to your nutrition talk. We never met though. And she goes, I know you from morning TV. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And she goes, you are a disgrace to the nutrition industry. And I go, what? And she's like, by the way that you dress. Yeah. And she goes, how could anyone take you seriously? Now, mind you, I was 23 at the time.
What?
Can you imagine like someone you've looked up to? It would have been like,
What's wrong with her?
43, 44 probably. So 20 years older than me. And she's like, I know I sound like a bitch, but I'm entitled to my opinion. I said, all I said in my mind at 23 was like, don't cry in front of this person. And then I said to her, thanks so much for your feedback. I'll let the producers know. And there was a queue of people waiting for smoothies. Everyone stayed in silence. I sold everyone their smoothies. Yeah, sitting in front of her on tiny smoothie. I locked the door. I ran outside.
You've got to tell me who she is after this.
Back and called. At the time, I had a business partner because he would help me film all my little videos I put on YouTube. And he's like, who is this? Who is this? And he's like, I'm Googling her now. And he's like, she does, because I have a Bachelor of Health Science majoring in nutritional medicine. He goes, she doesn't even have a degree and she's ripping into you. And I was like, I don't really care if you've got a degree. Like, you do you, boo. Doesn't bother me. And I just remember thinking in that moment, I was 23, and I was like, I'm not going to let somebody else's bad day F up my life. And so I was just like, that's her stuff, it's not mine, and just kept trudging forward.
Wow.
But yeah, that was the flip side of like being a bit quirky and being a bit different, especially at quite a young age.
Oh God, that would have been. I mean, I'm all snaps to you for giving yourself the strength and just giving yourself that little talking to at that age is a lot. I would have probably gone running to my parents crying.
But I had a buddy, I was crying, I had a buddy being like, don't worry about it, her stuff, not yours, you know. So I did have a buddy helping me through it as well.
Well, you've got guts, I say. And then years later, you had copped a lot of flack from some awful, vicious people online. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so that was a total,
Yeah.
it was a total F up on my part, if I'm honest. We brought out a diet plan, and I remember when I wrote it, it was a beautiful 6 weeks diet plan. And when I wrote it, I was moving through the end part of kind of like the eating disorder, binge eating phase. Anyone that's had an eating disorder, a really common way of kind of coming out the other side is through binge eating, because you start to enjoy food and then you start to feel guilt. It's a very weird, it's a huge beast, the umbrella. Anyway, and that day I remembered I'd binge eaten a family size Cadbury block of that, the snack flavour of every flavour, deliciousness.
So good.
And I'd eaten the whole thing, and I obviously felt sick and felt terrible about myself. And my business partner at the time said, well, what should we call this diet plan? And I was like, I wish I could call it Stop Being a Fat Bitch, because that's what I feel like today. And he's like, what's we got to call it? You've got to shine a light on the way women speak to themselves. In hindsight, of course, I shouldn't have done that. It offended people. And to this day, I am really sorry that I did that. But yeah, I got cancelled. I pretty much got cancelled before cancelling was a thing.
You were called, this is just from an article I read, drug pig, bulimic, ice addict, and whore. I mean, what the actual...
Yeah.
How do people...
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I hadn't discovered therapy yet, to be honest with you. But do you know what had happened? I was living in Sydney at the time, and someone reached out to me from a yoga studio in Surrey Hills and said, just come and be on the mat, and just set me up with a free membership. And so all I did for a month was just get myself to the yoga mat each morning, and that was my little gift to my, and it kind of her name was Nicole, and I believe it was called In Yoga.
Thanks. Sweet.
Yeah.
There's humans there that just can see the pain. That would have been so hard.
Yeah, and it was over the holiday period too, so my agents weren't I couldn't talk to anyone, so I did feel quite alone.
I remember you described it as it's like when you've got books coming out, everyone wants to be your friend, and then the lights turn on and all the cockroaches go sky.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of people who really have you.
Yeah, big time. And I must say living in LA as well, you get to see that again. You get to see that, like, when the chips are down, nobody wants to be near you. And the second you have a win or you book a TV gig or something, like, it's like all these people just like crop out of the bushes. You're like, oh, where were you when I did something?
Wow, that's amazing. So how did these little things affect your mental health, and how did you find a way to therapy?
My favourite question. I can talk about mental health. I know you're massive about this as well. I just went through a really shitty breakup, to be honest with you. I was 31, and I remember I walked up to this guy's front door. We'd been together for, I don't know, 5 months or something, and he wouldn't open the screen door, like the wire door, and he just stood behind it. And I just remember saying to him, I feel like I'm a pebble in your shoe. And he just looked at me and was like, it's me, it's not you. And I was like, okay, you have the emotional intelligence of a stick. I didn't know that until I had gone to therapy, right? So at that time, I was like, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not seeing all that stuff that I know we tell ourselves. And I couldn't let go of it. And he started dating someone like a week later, I remember. And I couldn't get over it. Like, I was obsessing over it. I couldn't understand it. It's the first time I got no closure ever from a breakup, other than the screen door. And a friend just was like, you need to get some help to move through this. And I remember we wrapped that relationship up in 3 sessions. And I said to my therapist, can I come back? I've never looked back. I go every 2 weeks.
Same therapist?
Same therapist.
Online now?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So he saw me through, I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
He must spend a fortune.
Yeah, but like it's my non-negotiable. And if people say like, what's your secret to success? Which I don't see myself as like uberly successful or anything anyway, but I'm like therapy, because I can process shit quicker. I can understand human behavior better, not just my own, but like I can got a pretty good lay of the land of other people's, and
You can read
people and also have empathy, because you can see from different perspectives. Like, I think therapy brings a nice non-biased opinion to whatever you're going through or you're experiencing with a friend, and I can let shit go way quicker now. I used to ruminate. I used to go over like that hamster wheel. That was me. And now I'm just like, okay, this shitty thing happened. It's actually not going to define me, but I'm just going to move through it, as opposed to eating to like not feel, as opposed to like just like leaving the sit and walking away. Now I'm like yeah, exactly. Now I'm like super comfortable sitting in the shit.
That's hard. And that's probably one of our biggest lessons, is to be with our emotions and let them feel.
Yeah, lean in, mate. Yeah. So hard.
I'm not good at that.
So it's hard.
So any other strategies, like, therapy being the overriding one, are there things that you've learned in therapy, which you just sort of listed a few, but are there like you've got a toolkit or like anything you can share with us that really gets you through on those dark days, or, when you've just been slogging it out, or you miss out on an audition?
Yeah. So this is going to sound like a really weird answer. I go to the movies. Because I'm a creative, and like I love feeling and seeing an art form where somebody's doing something they love, and that passion gets to connect to our hearts as the viewer in the audience. That like fills me up. Yeah. Also,
and it's all encompassing, because around you, it's your sensory.
The theatre is so intimate. You can go. It's blacked out. It's almost like an intimate experience. Very different to watching on TV, even streaming. And so for me, it's like a really, like, even I took my dad to see Gladiator the other day. And all the premiere stuff's all still set up in LA. So fun. It's like we walked through the Coliseum together. It was so cool. Yeah. And I had this moment at the start where like, it's like a flicker in my heart where it's just like, don't lose hope. Like, keep going. Keep doing the auditions. Yeah. I've got to do an audition after this. Like, it's...
Today?
Yeah.
As well as the podcast?
Yeah.
You are such
one of those days.
Both your parents, like entrepreneurial, they have their own business. Like, where have you got this modelling from of this incredible diligence?
So my dad was a vet and set up his own veterinary practice, and my mum was like head theatre nurse at Cabrini. And so I think also both of them separated and both working, because we lived in half and half in each house. So we both grew up seeing working parents, my brother and I. And on our like school days off, Mum made I didn't know this until I interviewed her on the podcast, but she made a conscious effort to take us to work so that we could see a woman, because she was like, when she grew up, there were 3 or 4 jobs available to her. She's like, I could be a secretary, I could be a nurse, I could be a teacher. She's like, it was really important that she took us to work and get us work. Oh, it's very interesting. I hadn't even thought about that.
Honestly, I think everyone I've interviewed, at least this week, has had parents that worked really hard.
Really?
And it's a defining point that it seems to be that they are modelled with hard work.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Nap it in your bra. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. And so mentally, any other non-negotiables that you swear by?
Obviously, I'm a bit of a yoga teacher.
Oh, of course.
So I love...
The other feathers in your bow?
Oh, no, I love yoga. I love practicing yoga. But also, like, to be fully transparent, my therapist is also a hypnotherapist. So we do hypno.
Oh, let's talk about that, because I've done a bit of that, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Tell it to people who don't understand hypnotherapy. What's your understanding?
Well, I had no understanding of it until my therapist just mentioned it in, like, our session. He was like, I was talking to someone about hypnotherapy the other day, and I was like, so do we do it? And he started laughing, and he's like, we do it every session. I had no...
Oh, you're like, this is just therapy, right?
I just thought we were doing visualization.
So he puts you into a little state? Like, do you do a relaxed thing at the start?
Yes, so we'll start with our session, talk therapy vibes, like proper psychotherapy, talk therapy like a psych, literally like a psych, because he is also that. And then sometimes, like, if I'm, I don't know, like, on a tangent or something, he'll just be like, I just need you to shut your eyes for a moment. He'll usually use a different kind of cue to visualize me in, whether it's a colour, a shape. It can also be an animal. I love animal work.
What do you mean? Like, he'll talk you through the colour of an animal?
He'll get me to shut my eyes and be like, you need to tell me what you're feeling right now and give it a colour or give it a shape. My favourite ones, though, are like animal ones and
how does that
going
go?
on a journey.
What animal do you feel like? Like, what does he say?
Yeah, always for me it's big cat. I'm always big cat energy, like jaguar vibes. And then we'll do full sessions based around
I think I want his number.
being a jaguar. Yeah, it's so cool. But like, so I don't know. It's the only time I've...
So you've got to be a jaguar, like, just be like a tiger, like...
No, nothing like the opposite of that. I'm getting very Zoolander right now for me. No. It's more like the value system of a jaguar. Like, every move a jaguar makes is deliberate.
Yes.
They don't waste energy. They're the highest in the food chain. They don't waste energy on small things. They only hunt when they need something. Like, it's more that.
It's his way of getting you to think in line with what you're...
We do full things around me in our lane. He's like, let's get ready for war. He's like, you're in the battleground. Yeah. We talk about armour, like suiting up and wearing armour to be able to sit and, like, there's a lot of, some meetings in LA are a bit fake and full of hot air and tough. And so he'll get me, like, with my armour on, feeling really clear and strong.
That's fantastic. So you'll be like, I've got an audition, I've got a meeting this week with this producer and this producer. He's like, okay, we're prepping for this. And then do you do further preparation when you get off the phone and it's the morning of? Do you then get yourself into the armour, or what do you do?
Sometimes I do breath work, but usually I have to move and I have to connect with myself. So usually I'll go make sure I do yoga.
Yep. At home?
Or no, I'll go to a studio. I love being in someone else telling me what to do when it comes to yogas, because it makes me more disciplined.
Oh, totally.
Don't you reckon?
Absolutely. Otherwise you just kind of go through what you feel like doing it.
I don't feel like Trikonasana today. I'll just do something else. Like, it's too easy to skip things.
Totally.
So doing the yoga, and then if I don't have time, this is not a word, but I'll watch a Steve Irwin video. Like, literally a clip. No, just for me to connect to that passion. Yeah, I've dedicated one of my books to him. I'm like, a fan.
Yeah, it's like your mentor kind of thing.
Yeah. Terry's organised like a tour of the zoo and everything for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so special. Okay, so I love this mental preparedness. And any other meditating that you do? Are you a TM or Vedic, or are you a Calm app? What do you do in terms of meditation?
I'm trained Vedic, so I've done the course with Vedic. I'm definitely not disciplined though. If I'm 20 minutes morning and night. No. But I will say, I still use my mantra all the time that I learned in Vedic meditation. And My boyfriend, Matt, is like super meditates 20 minutes every day. It's his non-negotiable. So
Just one session?
He'll do one session a day. Yeah. So for me, it's probably more about like, I think this is because I've got so much Virgo in my chart. I'll like need to like write it all down, feel it, see it, do it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then let it settle, and then.
Yeah. You're highly organised. You're a researcher.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why you were able to produce 11 books.
Oh, we talked about this in the elevator. Sorry, I'm rubbing off on you.
One, Fearlessly Failing. I love the cover. It's so
That's a
fun.
copy to take.
Thank you. And look, you've even inscribed it.
A little love note. You've got to have a love note.
It's beautiful. So this is a bit of a departure from your other books.
Correct.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all about
Failing. Yeah, I'm a pro.
your other what are some of your fails, your biggest fails, do you reckon?
Living in LA and auditioning as an actor and not. Like, especially in Australia, like, if I'm honest, I couldn't get any reps in Australia for acting because, no, that was like,
Cast as a nutritionist.
yeah, like, stay in your lane, you're a great TV nutritionist, stay in your lane, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. So that was really hard for me. But then I could get these amazing Aussie actors on my pod, and I'd be writing to the biggest agents, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, yeah, this actor would love to be on your pod."
So were you writing to LA agents or
Aussie. That was Aussie, yeah. And then in America,
How many years ago did you start your pod?
about 4, I think 3 or 4. I've had over 600.
Great names right from the start.
Yeah, but
Can you give me some tips?
yeah. Oh my God, you've got look at your list.
I know,
My
but-
list is- I was stalking you last night, mate. You're killing it. I just really just tell people like I want to hear their story and then ask them to come on the pod, and it's just an honest, genuine chat. Really, it doesn't need to dive into failure. But like some of the things I've learned, like I'm an acting nerd, so like usually I lose my bananas over an actor. But like I've had the beautiful Anthony Napoleon on, and he was like, "There's a lot of fluff in acting." He's like, "I love acting. I don't like the box that comes in." I'm like, "Okay." But he was amazing. I remember I said to him, I was in acting class right before I came to LA last year in Melbourne, and I ran into a girl from my high school, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to LA." Da, da, da. And I'm just really excited to kind of share. I'm a pretty like positive, happy kind of gal. And she was like, "Oh, but you're over 35. You won't make it. You're too old." And I was like, "Oh my."
Honestly.
And I told Anthony, and I go, "What's your advice?" And he goes, "Their limitations, not yours. Don't take them on." And then as soon as I stopped recording, he was like, "Who did that to you?" It was like real like protective.
Sweet.
But yeah, he's love it. And then another one I learned a really good lesson from was Owen Teale, who's off Game of Thrones. He's Hamlet, yeah. He always says, he had beautiful Welsh accent. He said the readiness is all. So he said we always get our opportunity. Everyone will get an opportunity, but sometimes if you're not ready, you're going to let it slip through your hands. So like staying ready is key. And a few people that I've met have said the exact same thing here. Like have your book pictures ready to go if you want to write a book. Have your screenplays ready to go if you want to do a movie. Like be ready.
I feel like that is the case, especially in LA and America. Sydney, I love it. I love Australia, but there's obviously not the kind of opportunities that you get here. Whereas like you might just walk down the street tomorrow and meet that agent, and there's a real sense of possibility that I've sensed here.
Yeah. It is. There is a lot of that. There's a lot of fake as well, though. But
It's true. Yeah.
there is like I had a meeting in New York in this just like beautiful little cafe in Tribeca, and the girl I was meeting with literally was like, "Oh Lola, meet this guy. He's won 17 Emmys," and I was like, "What? My dream is to win one." My dream, I want an Emmy at 40. That's my dream.
That's your goal?
One of my dreams, Emmy at 40. Well, I've only got a year and a bit though.
Well, you're doing well. You're doing very well.
Oh, mate, so are you. I think you're killing it.
Oh, you're so kind. No, I love it. All right. What about, okay. So you mentioned to me that you're freezing embryos. Tell us what that journey's been like.
I've done it. I've done it. Yeah. So I did it. I went in very naive, and my dream was to get all these eggs and donate heaps to queer groups. That was my dream. I was like, I went in so green, like I had no idea. And the doctor, the specialist that I worked with was like, "Oh, no, it doesn't work like that. You can't have eggs." Because I was like, "Oh, I want to have a surplus of eggs. I want to give them away to queer couples, you know." and help other people, because I know it can be really expensive sometimes for queer couples in Australia with the Medicare and stuff. Like, I got no Medicare because Matt and I on paper are fertile. So it cost us to do one round about $18,000.
Oh my God, in Australia?
In Australia.
You did it there or here?
In Australia.
They did in Australia. Oh, because it's even more here, right? Because you are fertile on paper, but you just wanted to be prepared.
Yes, we haven't been trying. Yeah.
Is it just that you're not sure that you want them ultimately, or you think you just want them later?
So for us, we're definitely not ready yet, and we're both 39. Obviously, I was very aware of time running out, and so Matt and I had a rule after I turned 35 with the exact same. We're 2 days apart with the exact same. So every birthday we check in with each other about the Bambino thing, and
Bambino chat time.
We started it at 35, and when I turned 36, I was like, I'd been here for 6 months, and I was like, oh, it's going to take me a while to get the LA dream, the American dream. I could feel I could just see the rejection. I could just see I was like, I'm good to stick it out, but it might come at the cost of, I might make it early 40s, but then our window might have shut by then. And so I said to him, I think I should freeze eggs. And then when we researched, we found out that embryos are a really great way to go for viability down the line and all that kind of stuff. And so we decided to go with embryos. And look, the boys get off scot-free. The girls, it's a little harder. I also got a bit of a scary thing called hyperstimulation. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's when you make too many eggs,
because they're giving you hormones, yeah.
But it can be fatal.
Jeez.
And so I went in for my ultrasound to just basically check how many eggs had been made.
Just make sure that's not. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Basically, I went in to have an ultrasound just to see how. I remember the specialist saying, if you've got less than 5 eggs, we're not moving forward. And then when he was doing the ultrasound, he was like, there's 15, on one side, and then there's...
Do you reckon it was because you in your mind had been like, I'm going to have all the eggs to give out to everyone?
Well, it turned out I had this scary thing called hyperstimulation, and he was like...
You manifested all those eggs?
I mean, that is one way of looking at it, my friend. But he said, I remember the specialist was like, oh no, this is fatal. If we keep going down this path, it's throw your trigger out. So your trigger is the injection you give yourself 2 days before I'm not allowed to use the word harvest, it's all coming up, before what's the word, collect the eggs. And he was like, because I had no Medicare cover because we considered fertile, I had to go out and spend another $1,000 to buy a different trigger. Anyway, I ended up donating all my leftover stuff because I was like,
your eggs? No,
all my medicine, because I couldn't use it. Basically, they had to speed up my retrieval, that's the word. So they brought the operation day forward. I had to change my trigger medicine, and in the state that I did in Queensland, they keep you awake for the...
Oh my God.
I've never felt pain. No, so you get a Panadol and a Valium 10 minutes before, and then you're in 4 steroids.
Oh,
and
that's just brutal. What's wrong with them?
I was inhaling. No, it's normal.
Have you gas?
No, I was inhaling. It's called Panthrox. It's like green whistle. You know when you see someone dislocate a shoulder. But I'm telling you, on my right side, I can still feel the
scapula.
No, it's more than that. No. They're sucking them out, mate. Like a needle's going in and sucking that. It was mental. And the nurse could see the pain I was in and was just like, I need you to inhale and hold your breath so that the drug will stay in my system.
Why they don't give you a bigger block down there, or
I probably should have asked for a double Valium, mate.
Yeah.
But I just never had anything, so I didn't know. I'd never been in this scenario before. So they got loads of eggs in the end, but no one told me that basically to get from collection to 5-day-old embryos is, the die-off is really high. And so I had no idea. Each time you get this call from the scientists, they'd be like, yeah, so 3 have survived. Yes. And I was like, what? How have we gone from 15? And it's super normal. Super normal.
Why are they not telling you this?
Apparently you need 13 eggs for 1 good embryo. But I had no idea, right?
I think just when you sign the thing for the money and they say this is your options, they should say, just so you know,
Apparently you're meant to do 3 rounds. I had no idea. Anyway, after all this, they call you after you get your numbers and you get your embryos and all that. And apparently we were really lucky we got 2 really healthy embryos.
Okay.
Really healthy, really happy.
What's the success rate of embryos that are really healthy?
It's 97, but it provided your body is healthy to hold them.
Oh.
But eggs are only 60%. I did not know because of thawing, freezing.
Wow, so that's why you went the embryo option.
Yeah.
And how do you know if your body's ready to hold them?
Mate, beats me. I'm presuming healthy. I have no idea. So anyway, look.
At least you can have a surrogate here.
In America, it's but I talked about that in Australia and the nurses were like, oh my God, no way. Like, wouldn't you want, and I'm like, look, I have no idea what the future
holds. Would they just like cryo them over here? And I guess they would.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
all the time.
I have no idea. All I know is that I really remember having 3 emergency therapy sessions with my therapist during that week because it was harrowing, that wait after to see literally die off. You're just hearing die off numbers. And then I remember the specialist calling me the day I got the final numbers and he's like, right, we need to go again. And I knew that if I went again and spent another 20 grand or just shy of, I wouldn't be able to afford to get to LA.
Oh my gosh, choose between your dream and your,
And I said to the specialist, I was like, I know right now that I am mentally and physically not able to put myself through that again. And I said, thank you, but no thank you right now. I'm like, I'm happy if I talk to you in a year, like no problem, mate. And that was the last time I spoke to my specialist, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
What a big investment, but what a big ordeal as well. Like, that must have been really hard.
I just wanted some peace of mind, and I didn't want to regret. I'm a big no regrets on my deathbed kind of gal.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did it. Would I do it again? I don't know. Right now, no. It really was harrowing for me, and I put on like 20 kilos. It was really fun.
I've heard similar stories, and I think that there's not enough education at the outset. I almost think it's a bit of a money-making scam, like the fact that they didn't tell you.
But not everyone has a bad experience. Some people have the most beautiful experiences. Also, like, remember, there are a lot of women that really want to have a bambino, that have tried everything under the sun, and IVF is the gift that brings the beautiful rainbow baby into the world.
Yeah.
I just wasn't that.
I'm just cross they didn't give you all the information.
Yeah, but I was naive as anything. I thought, I'm healthy, I'll be fine. I just reacted to her. I also didn't know, but I had undiagnosed PCOS underneath it all.
Oh, okay, that's hard.
Yeah, I had no clue until going through it.
Did you get symptoms and things now?
I did after the IVF, but I worked my absolute butt off after with a naturopath, with my nutrition. Okay. Oh my goodness, we did so much stuff.
What do you do if you've got PCOS and you want to get better?
PCOS is like a really big insulin kind of picture, so there's so much great stuff you can do dietary, but like including fiber in the diet, focusing on phase 2 liver detoxification, looking after, like doing weight exercise, just all that.
Do you use the gym here?
Sure do, mate.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alana, my personal trainer in Australia. I still do sessions twice a week in the gym. I do my squats. I just call her Alana Fit because that's her Insta.
Okay, so talk me through your diet, like your day on the plate. Like, what are your, as a nutritionist, what are your nutritionist hat? What are the things you're doing to have the longest life, to be the strongest that you can be?
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with your episode of the 6 things.
Oh, the longevity, the sacred 6.
Oh my God, obsessed.
Oh, were they all right?
More than all right. I was like, I do that one, shit, I don't do that one. I need to do more of that one. So much stuff. I'm nearly said I'm married. I'm not married. I am with an Italian. And we've been together for like 6 years now.
Gorgeous Matt, who we just met, yeah.
Beautiful Matt. He's Italian, he's first generation Aussie, so loves his food. And also, he's the primary cook. Like, I barely, mate, I've written nutrition books, but I'm like he likes it.
Now I'm podcasting. I got better shit to do than cook.
Well, so we have such a varied diet because of him. I live a gluten-free life. I'm a gluten-free gal, but also eat like pasta.
Is that because you're celiac or just gluten intolerant, or?
Yeah, I just like have a really. My day on a plate varies because he is such a foodie that we just mix it up. But
so
like,
you're not super strict apart from gluten.
Yeah, not at all. And we love a beautiful whiskey or a Pinot. I don't know. know, we just kind of like eat intuitively. I love coffee, love it. So I would never go a day without coffee. And yeah, I love going out for meals, but I also like, if I don't feel like eating, I won't. I'm very like, literally go by like how I feel.
So you're very in tune with your body.
It's the only way I eat. And have you been to Air One yet in LA? Probably like their hot bar more than anything else. Yeah, so it's all organic, all locally sourced,
Maybe that's our lunch.
It's 1,000% your lunch.
Okay,
And on Sundays they do special. They do this gluten-free, dairy-free fried chicken that's insane.
Oh my
They do kelp noodles.
Yes.
There's this little celebrity.
Oh, the celebs everywhere, aren't they? Oh god,
Yeah.
that's so trendy. What are some of the other crazy LA things you've done, like treatments or like supplements or like? I know, you know, with the Joshua Tree that I was listening to that episode, like you do all these crazy things.
Oh,
like
the Integratron. Yeah, went to
yeah.
the alien worshipping, sound healing.
Integratron,
The Integratron, this guy had aliens visit him in the night and built this beautiful dome, and it's got no metal in it. Like it's all just
it's
blue
all
wood.
blue.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It was beautiful. LA, like health pads. I'm trying to think what I've done. NAD's massive over here. All the anti-aging
Yes,
stuff's huge
NAD
here.
boosters. So do you take?
I've tried the IVs here. So
Oh,
they IV it to you here.
that's awesome. Did your NAD levels go up? Did you test them?
Well, I was doing all in the lead up to IVF.
Yeah. Can you think of things?
Non-negotiable. Dish everything. For me, yoga, movement, I love being out in nature. Biophilia is the healing power of Mother Nature on human
Biophilia,
beings.
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So it's a grounding and green and
being just, yeah, like
Seeing
even where
nature.
Griffith Observatory is, which we were looking at before, there's this little, it's called Ferndale Forest, and you walk through this little forest. I'm a sleep nerd, so getting my 8 hours, should I say, is like super important to me.
so you're like, turn the devices off at a certain time? Do you do blue light glasses, or do you just sleep really well and you're a lucky person?
We have red light at night,
Yeah.
so we'll flick to, we've got a galaxy light that flicks onto our roof, and it's red, so we put that on at
Red light
night.
district in the house.
Yeah.
It's always so funny, isn't it, when you turn the red lights and you're like, well, what's going on?
But it helps you sleep so much.
It really does, yes.
So sleep is like a big one for me, especially with like wanting to like get so much into a day. I will happily forgo a social thing at night so that I can get more done the next day.
I love JOMO, the joy of missing out.
Oh, I love
Yeah, this is my new thing. Like, I've always had FOMO all my life. And in my 40s, I'm like, I need to like switch it to JOMO. I love passion acting now. Like, you really like, and obviously your podcast, your book, but like, you're the ultimate slashy.
such a slashy. The
But
dream is acting.
The dream is acting.
The dream is acting, but I'm also a realist, and I love the pod so much. And I'm more of a my natural, for everything that I've done in Australia, working TV hosting and presenting is like second nature. Like it's so fun.
Yeah.
I love doing this. I love that it's filmed. So I am cool with wherever I land, but I will never stop auditioning for acting stuff because I had a moment. I was doing a Tennessee Williams play and I was doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Maggie the Cat, and I remember the director giving me notes. We were doing the scene study, and honestly, like I remember feeling like electricity running through my veins, and it was just like bigger than me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I will. That's what I love about acting. You can do it for your entire life.
Get older.
I think so. I'm a big believer in like doing the stuff that lights your heart on fire.
Yes, thank you. That was
Thanks.
amazing. I could talk to you all day, but you've got podcasts and
Got to get you on my
auditions, and we're going to go record Lola's now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Beautiful Inside. If you enjoyed this, the best thing you can do is share it with a friend, leave a review, or give us a rating.